All right, we are going to replace the striker in a M&P 2.0. Let's do it. All right, so first thing we're going to do is safety check our firearm. We can see, hopefully, there we go. Nothing in the magazine well, and nothing in the chamber. So then you are going to take the slide off your weapon, just same as you normally would. You don't have to do anything else at this point. You are then going to take out your little tool right here in the heel. It's going to be the only tool you need. So you are going, let's see, right here, there's a little plastic piece. You're going to pull that to the rear, the flat of your tool, and your plate is going to slide right up, just like that. Put your finger over it, depress the safety catch, then it's going to come right out. Leave that little red thing. Now, let me show you why we're replacing it. Here is the new striker. Here's my old striker. Notice something different? Yep. Here is that little part. Just broke right off. So, you can see now why I needed to replace it. All we're going to do, it's very hard to mess it up because you have to put this tab facing up. Simply push it in. Okay. You're going to depress this. Push in on your safety plunger until it retains it. Okay. There you go. A little click. See how that's mostly flush. And we're going to get our plate ready. And there is little set cutouts there. You can kind of see it right here. That interfaces with this white portion on the slide. So we're going to orientate that of here. Get it ready. Pull down your little tab. Not hard to do, trying to do it on camera. Get that lined up. There's a set of notches you kind of have to make sure. Sorry, you can't see through my thumb. Pull down. There it goes. Okay. Make sure there's no bubble or anything like that. Okay. Then you just reassemble. And we are going to function check. Make sure it's unloaded. Nothing there. Nothing there. Okay. Reset. Break. Reset. Break. That's really all there is to it. Not too bad. Okay. So let's talk about what potentially caused the striker to fail. I want to preface this by saying that I don't know the history of the gun. I bought it used. I don't know how many rounds it had through it. I don't know how much had been dry fired. I don't know any of that. What I do know is that I dry fired it a lot. Probably in excess of about 10,000 trigger pulls. And as far as I can tell, what happened was, as the striker was hitting the slide, it just hit it so many times that where it necked down to the firing pin, quote unquote, because you could see there's that little shoulder and the pin pokes through it, kind of like that, okay? This shoulder here hits the slide every time that the trigger is pulled. And if there's not a primer there to slow it down or kind of cushion it, quote unquote, that's pretty substantial. And you do it enough times, that can weaken things right there. I think that's just what happened. It just weakened it until that little nub just snapped right off. And that's a pretty important nub. that sets the gun off. If that breaks, then you're screwed and you have to get a whole new one. So it's worth mentioning that you're supposed to be able to dry fire all modern guns without any worries whatsoever, right? And that's true. That's very true. However, it's just a mechanical device. It's a tool like any other, and if you use something and you use it again and again and again and again, things wear and things can just wear out, okay? And with that dry firing, putting excess pressure on that joint, in live fire, it has to be over like 100,000 rounds, if not more. I mean, more than most people would ever put through it. So, is this a problem if you're just shooting a lot? Probably not. I really don't see it being an issue, but if you're dry firing, that's something to keep in mind. You really just have to keep an eye on things. And I didn't do that. And then it broke, and then it was 5 days until my gun was back up and running. And that M&P, that's my home defense gun. That's what I got. That's what I chose to use. And it was down for about 5 days. And I did have another gun that I could use, but it's just a little Beretta Model 8132, more of a range toy than anything. Would it have worked? Yeah, it would have worked. But it wouldn't have been ideal. So, yeah, so just understand things wear out. If you want to be proactive, have some spare parts on hand. That's not a bad policy to have. I kind of wish I did have like just a spare striker laying around. And honestly, I'll probably at some point here just pick up another one. It was $40 shipped from Midway USA. Not a big deal. But it was 5 days before I had it. And if I just had a spare, excuse me, if I just had a spare one, I just popped it in there and back off to the races. All would have been good. So, yeah, just understand that if you're going to dry fire a lot, things can wear out, and they can wear out more quickly than they would if you're shooting live ammunition, because dry fire is not what firearms are designed to do. They are designed to shoot. They're designed to shoot live ammunition. And that's one of the cool things about snap caps. They allow the firing mechanism to function as it's supposed to. Having that primer there, it will help ensure the longevity of those parts. For me, I have a little toddler, and 9mm snap caps would be the perfect size for her to pick up and try to swallow and then block her airway. And that just wouldn't be a good thing. And those suckers are so easy to lose, especially if you're just doing your tap racks. You're not really paying attention to where they're falling. And anybody who's loaded and unloaded magazines on anything but a tabletop knows how easy it is just to have one roll off, and you're counting your rounds like, where the heck did that other one go? It happens. It happens. So for me, it just wasn't worth it. So, yeah. And plus, then, if you don't have an unloaded magazine to use, you have to unload a magazine, or you have to if you want to load your spare magazine that's usually unloaded, but you have it loaded up with snap caps, well then you have to unload the snap caps and load them up every time you want to dry fire, and it takes some of just the easiness and the quickness out of dry fire. So yeah, so could it have been avoided? Maybe, maybe not. Like I said, I don't think it was a manufacturing defect. It might have been that particular striker might have been a ticking time bomb as far as just when it was going to break. It could have been. Again, I don't think it is. I've never seen, with all the reading I did, I spent a whole evening just searching and searching. The only problems I found were with the first generation strikers. Once I went to the second, which if you want to look and see, all the 2.0s have the new striker. If you have a 1.0, the first generation, look and see if it's the black striker. The new ones are silver, so you just pop off your plate and just look at it. If it's black, it's the old one. It might be okay, might not be. But again, the new strikers, they're not expensive. It's so not a big deal just to get one, and obviously taking it out and putting it in is no big deal either. So yeah, don't let it deter you from dry firing. Just understand that things can wear out, things can fail, and just have to be ready for it and not get too mad when it does wear out. You can't stop it. It happens. If you're gonna use it, it's gonna wear out. So that was kind of the takeaway, if you will, from all this.